little bit behind, just a touch. All right, let's move it along to the defensive side of the ball here. Kingsley Enagbare, boys. He's the one, according to PFF. Now, I have not keyed in on him and his tape yet. I haven't. I didn't see the PFF grades. I went back and watched the tape. I was trying to focus on Barron Sorrell, little Nas Stackhouse, some of those cats, right? Kalen King, another one that I really have my eye on, kind of rounding out that cornerback room. But according to PFF, Kingsley Enagbare going to lead the way here, all right, with a 90.1 PFF grade. Behind him, Tyron Hopper, 88.6. Kalen King, 78.9. Jared Bartlett, 73. Carrington Valentine, 71.
Here's the
Lucas Van Ness, 71. Barron Sorrell, 68.4.
There we go.
68.4, guys. That was on 39.
You heard what Haffey was saying about him, right? Tim and Clay, right? He didn't make the same mistake twice, especially even in the same drive. He was fixing his mistakes in real time. Love that.
And we saw that definitely translated from practice to the field, because I've seen that firsthand. Every time he missed a rep or had a bad rep in a drill or something in practice, they corrected it immediately, and he got it right the first time every time. So it's nice to see that kind of converting over to the field.
Yeah, and again, some of these are minimal snaps, so we'll try to mention that for everybody on the pod, so you know. Kenny Clark only 9 snaps, but a 66.3. Evan Williams only 10 snaps, a 65.5. Micah Robinson, 7th round pick, 35 snaps, 65.0. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. Carl Brooks, 25 snaps, 64.2. Christian Welch, 63.2 on 30 snaps. Now let's bounce back up to the top for just a second. When you look at those top players, the beautiful thing about the 90.1 from Kingsley Enagbare, he played 32 snaps. Tyron Hopper with the 88.6, 35 snaps. Kalen King, 37 snaps with the 78.9. So I want to say this about Tyron Hopper. This whole time we've been talking, is it going to be Isaiah McDuffie? Is it going to be Isaiah Simmons, right? What if Tyron Hopper just comes screaming from the back of the pack and he ends up being that third linebacker in our base 4-3 and that next in line rotation in our nickel 4-2-5? Obviously you got 2 stack backers there. How cool would that be, man?
Be amazing.
Be perfect. It would be, Tim, right? It would be perfect because we took him in the 3rd round for a reason. Half and Goody liked him for some type of reason. Let's see what he does. I like that he's always kind of been the mic when he goes out there. He's getting the play calls too. I think going through that helps him. You're not just relying on somebody else. You got to learn all the plays. Like Heffley was saying with Quay, he's got the microphone in his ear. He's relaying it. He's kind of finishing his sentences. That's going to help when you're out on the field in the crunch time in a game, when you're able to think without having to, or play without having to think or know what's coming next. So I think Hopper coming in like that would be huge. But they really did play Simmons a lot. Walk down on the line. They seemed like they were in their base 4-3 a lot last night.
It seems like there was a concerted effort to get both of them a lot of reps and to get them, different looks. And to your point about Hopper, I think that it shows his game is more refined. They're giving him, the mic responsibilities, and we've seen the physical attributes and then the processing stuff too. Kind of, I think he looks a lot better than he did last season. And in the limited bit of action that we saw him, he looks like a more refined player. And that's where you want your guy to be in year 2, right? You don't want him looking the same as he did the year before. We want guys to progress. And I think, one of the glimmers of shining light in this first preseason game was Tyron Hopper when you go back and look at the tape.
Right. That's a great point. Another one here, Omar Brown, 42 snaps, 61.9. That's, we talked about this. Are they going to try to work him into a spot? Now, I think he got a lot of those snaps because Zane Anderson went down with the injury. That's another one that it feels like Matt is weird. Matt said he's going to be out for a while, but it's not long term. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? He's going to be out a while, but it's not long term. So maybe it's something that's not going to be season ending, but he'll probably start on the pup. He didn't say that. I'm just trying to, decipher what he's saying. So if that's the case, Omar Brown, the door's wide open, man. Jump on that opportunity,
Yep.
And 42 snaps. He almost had that diving interception, right?
Oh, jumped out of my seat. I wanted that so bad for him.
No doubt. So Isaiah McDuffie, these are all minimal snaps here, these next few, 61.9. Then you got Hollis Jr., 61.4. Zane Anderson only played 4 snaps and got hurt, 60.9. Keith Randolph, only 7 snaps, 60.3. Kobe Wooden. This is one I think there was 1 or 2 viewers that were very vocal. They thought Kobe had a good game. Matt said the same thing. The only thing I had in my notes from Kobe Wooden was the batted pass. I didn't notice, wow, look at that penetration. Wow, look at him get that run stuff. Now, granted, when you go to the box score, he did lead all defensive linemen in tackles. Some of that may have to do with the 26 snaps, albeit, who had the most snaps amongst the defensive line? Looks like it was Baron Sorrell at edge, but we're talking interior defensive tackle. It looks like Carl Brooks had 25, so 1 less than him, right? 1 less than Kobe Wooden. So it would kind of make sense he would have the most tackles. I don't know. How do you guys see that with Kobe? Amelia, do you feel like Kobe had a really good game, an okay game, what have you? Because, again, all I have was the batted pass, and then there were a couple other people that seemed to think he had a pretty good game. PFF had him at a 59.5 here on 26 snaps.
I'm super happy for him graduating. I'm happy that Matt took that time and had the whole team in on that celebration for him,
Yes.
which is awesome. I'm so happy that he went back and did that. And, promised his mom and got it done. That's awesome. What I did see, I think on that penetration play, I honestly want to put that W on Stackhouse because he was kind of the one that split his guy and got a hand on the running back. And actually, Kobe Wooden cleaned it up for sure. He was on top of it and Sellied first getting out of the pile. But I do think I want to put that run stop on Stackhouse on that 3rd and 1, I think it was. But besides that, yeah, he did have a good bat. He did, he had a pretty decent game. I'm glad that he's gotten up over 300. He was saying that in his interview. He was kind of fluctuating between 280, 290 last year. He's over 300 now for good. I'm hoping that he plays, keeps getting better because he's been the one that I've kind of thought was on the bubble. But if he does keep playing like that, keep bringing that energy, that physicality, he's got a real good shot. I think he kind of got moved off the ball once or twice, but he also, got back there and was kind of slippery a couple times. So
yeah,
I agree.
And then when you look here, who was the other? There's one more person I wanted to look at. We talked about Kobe Wooden. Going down here. Warren Brinson, 26 snaps, 51.6. Bo Melton had 29 snaps, 51.6. Nazir Stackhouse, all right, 48.7 on 26 snaps. This is the first one on the list that I felt like he had a good game. PFF completely disagreed.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that PFF's right and I'm wrong or I'm right and PFF's wrong. That's why it's important to watch the tape yourself, compare it to some of the grades, look at some of the advanced analytics, and make a determination for yourself. But the other one that sticks out to me, Isaiah Simmons, right? 29.4 is the PFF grade, 39 snaps. Me personally, I didn't even notice Isaiah Simmons. And typically you'll notice you notice Tyron Hopper a little bit. It's like, okay, he's around the ball, right? Isaiah Simmons. Now, timeout. What did Coach Hafley say? Coach Hafley said, well, we asked him to do a lot of things he wasn't normally comfortable with doing. Like we're trying to get him to try some stuff that he hasn't done before. So you do have a little bit of a learning curve. However, if we were to go with the notch system, Tim, I'm giving Tyron Hopper right now. He's got the upper hand over, not necessarily over McDuffie because they like McDuffie so much, but he's definitely got the upper hand over Isaiah Simmons right now.
That would explain why, when we did see Isaiah Simmons, especially particularly early in the game, he looked like he was out there looking for his keys or something. He just looked kind of lost. And so when you hear Coach Hafley describe what was being put on his plate in his first game action as a Packer, it makes perfect sense, So, and then you couple that with what you just said, you get Tyron Hopper coming out there, clearly a better linebacker than he was last year, and showing a little flash here and there and grading out pretty well. Yeah, I think after one preseason game, I wouldn't say Tyron Hopper has lapped McDuffie, but he might have lapped Simmons right now. At least where we're sitting right now. We'll see what happens a week from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Emilio, when it comes to that other stack backer position? Do you feel like how would you rank them? 1, 2, 3. Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, and Isaiah Simmons after one preseason game here.
I was gonna put Simmons right behind McDuffie with the amount of playing time that they gave him. His performance, I think, is what kind of is holding me back on that a little bit. I'm happy that again, Hopper having the play call going through his ear helps a lot. I think I was just kind of surprised to see him walk Simmons down so much. Like if we're going to play that kind of speed on the field, I like it, but I feel like he's going to be stepped out more than stepped up on the line. If we want that kind of big body, I would be fine with McDuffie or Hopper playing that. So I think it'd have to be, McDuffie first right now, Hopper, and then Isaiah Simmons currently. But he was asked to play nickel safety, all that stuff, and now we're bringing him down on the line to be a walk-up, walk-up edge player basically. That's kind of tough for him. I'd rather see him step back a little bit, kind of cover him, spying the QB, something like that.
A lot of those reps you're talking about are ones that we saw massive holes in the middle of the field for
Right.
huge passing games. And it's like, man, you have to think like if he wasn't so close to the line of scrimmage, and again, that's scheme, that's play call. There's lots of different, variables, but I agree, man. I would have liked to have seen what he looked like a little bit more flying around in coverage.
Right.
Yeah. In the chat says we still have 2 more preseason games to find out. We've also got a couple joint practices, which I personally believe are more important than the preseason games, And Emilio, to your point where you said, them walking him up on the line like that, that's probably more along the lines of let's see if he can do this. That lines up with what Jeff Hafley said, right? Like in the past, he's played a lot of safety in the league, right? Played a lot of true stack. Let's see if he can mug the line of scrimmage like Quay does, like Edgerrin Cooper does. And if the answer is no, all right, mental note, if he makes the 53, let's put him in a position to do what he does well, as opposed to let's try to force this square peg in a round hole. That's what I love about Jeff Hafley's approach.
Yep.
All right. So anything else on defense you guys want to see there? Any other names catch your attention? I know it's kind of hard to read these numbers. I screwed up this screenshot here, but I can tell you what the grades are if there's anybody else you want to know about here.
Kalen King, can we talk about him?
Yes, absolutely, man. Kalen King, right? 37 snaps, 70, I think it's a 78.9 is what I'm showing here. His coverage grade, Tim, 79.9. Now, listen, it's showing slot cornerback. I don't know if he played every one of his snaps there. I do know this. He made it into my notes 3 times, 2 of which were pass breakups in the end zone on separate drives. That's huge. That's huge. I don't care what game it is. That's showing you a guy knows how to use the back line as an extra defender. That shows you that he knows how to play the football and play it in a pressure-packed situation. Kalen King might be poised for a big step, man.
I thought he looked good, especially when in those situations, right? When the ball's in the air, you got to track that ball. You got to know where your man is. There's a lot of variables in a blink of an eye, and looked like he had pretty good, closing speed, good form. I mean, and you can tell this kid is fired up to be playing football again. Let's not forget that, we're not too far removed from last year when we didn't get to see much of him. And I think he's maximizing every rep he's getting. And I'm glad he got 37 of them last night. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And showed out and performed in that opportunity. Right. I think that, he really did show up. I'm pretty sure I do remember maybe he missed 1 tackle, but besides that, dude, for a guy that was a 7th round pick, supposed to be a number 1 overall the year before, I'm happy with his performance.
Yeah. And looking at the cornerback room here, right? Where do they have Kalen King on the depth chart here, according to our lads? Looks like they've got Kalen King as the backup nickelback, which that proved correct last night. And it kind of surprised me because you guys know I've been very vocal saying it would either be Nate Hobbs or Keyshawn Nixon who would kick into the slot if Javon Bullard went down with an injury. Well, both of those, Nate Hobbs was not available, so maybe that could be the case, but nonetheless, last night, Kalen King was the one who kicked in the slot. So it's feeling like it's going to come down to Kalen King and Bo Melton. Let's pretend all the corners are healthy when we break camp. Nate Hobbs 1, Keyshawn Nixon 2, Javon Bullard 3, Carrington Valentine 4. Let's say you carry 5. It comes down to Bo Melton and Kalen King. That's going to be the position battle there. And through 1 preseason game, I'm giving the nod to Kalen King. But again, they really like Bo on special teams. Maybe that's the position they carry 6 at this year as opposed to 5 like they did last year. That could be the case. Let me ask you guys this real quick, and then we'll move on. Of those 2 players, Bo Melton or Kalen King, let's think in terms of the 69-man roster, the 70-man roster. Which one do you think you would have a better chance of sneaking onto the practice squad, Bo Melton or Kalen King?
Kalen King.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Right offhand, that's how I see it too, Tim, because Bo Melton's kind of been in the headlines. Bo Melton is more value, multifaceted, wide receiver and corner.
Yep.
And also he plays special teams really well.
And he's feeling a little bit better after that cheese curd incident.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Sometimes you eat too many cheese curds, you come out looking like this. You know what I'm saying?
Looking like a different person.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else on defense, gents? Anything
I just think to the point with Bo, it's like you're right. It's clearly the battles between him and Kalen King, right? But Bo's got the edge of, being Bo Melton. And we've heard the staff and his teammates talk about him. And they feel like they're a better football team with him on the field, period. Whether that's a wide out, a corner, special teamer, guy on the sideline picking up his teammates. So there's, a lot of factors when it comes to Bo besides the X's and O's, but it is going to be fun to watch them try and make that decision because Kalen King is playing some damn good football this point in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, where's KT?
It wasn't pretty. And I got to be honest, watching the tape, I felt like he had a bad game too, me personally. But Ketan Oladapo ended up, where was he at? I thought he was
right there in the middle, right there. 22, free safety.
58.0 on 42 snaps.
Okay. That's 79. That's tackling.
That's tackling grade.
Yeah. Okay. Because I thought he did get beat on that one deep ball. The guy turned around, caught it kind of over his shoulder. He was punching through, just didn't rip it out. And I think I don't love that grade, but I'm happy that he had good tackling grade. He's right around 60, no problem. We'll get that up. I'm glad he got 42 reps. Sorry about Zane, don't want to see that, but I'm glad that Oladapo got out there. The only thing was that Hafley was saying we didn't really see everybody getting to the punch and getting that ball out, being ball king kind of hungry, and that's where we were talking about. Hey, these guys are in training camp. They're not actually tackling them. They're focusing strictly on punching the ball out. So now we need to pair those two together. Now that you've had a real game, we got to tie that together with what you've been practicing. All right, wrap up, but also punch. Next guy to the ball. If he's stuck, if the first guy stood him up, the next two are punching the ball out. So that type thing.
Yeah, great point. Willie in the chat say, guys, look, I'm in first place.
Hey, first time for everything, Bears fan.
Yeah, so he's in first place. Willie, I don't see you in the rankings here, bro.
Where'd he go? Is he gone?
No, I'm showing on
that cheese curds suck. I'm pretty sure that he was talking about deep dish pizza, though.
I'm showing on my side that that RE Ironminer's winning right now. Donovan Jennings is second, and Mike Berry's third.
I don't know where Willie went. Where did he go?
I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Sit your butt outside.
Sockowitz tweeted out Jeff Hafley on Bo Melton. The guy gives you everything he has. We just need to keep playing him. So there's your answer there, Emilio. They're going to continue to march him out there and try to get him meaningful reps. And I agree with that for sure. Yep. And then Rafsky tweeted out, LaFleur said Zane Anderson's knee injury will keep him out for some time, but it's not a long-term or season-ending thing. So possibly on the pup, possibly start the season on injured reserve, miss the first 4 weeks, I think is kind of where we're at. Either one of those that you guys want to hit on, then we'll wrap up the defensive side here.
My knee.
It didn't look like a knee to me.
No, I thought he had a concussion.
I thought my man went out cold there for a second. Yeah. So, I mean, at least that's a positive that it wasn't a concussion. I hope that, his knee is all right. If it's something, maybe a, meniscus or something kind of minor there, no ACL or anything like that, or else we'd know. But I'm excited. I want to see Bo get some more reps in these, in the practices.